Hi, and welcome back to The Secret Life of Parkinson's. I'm Jessica Krauser, and I'm here with Brian Baker.
Hi, Jess.
Oh, do you normally say your name?
I don't know how we're doing it
I don't
anymore.
know. I know, I forget. But we have Chris Jones on the phone with us. Hi, Chris.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Well, I'm super excited to have you. It's probably better that you introduce yourself and who you are, what you do, and then we'll get into our topic because it's a very exciting one today.
It is.
Sure. Sure. Yeah. Happy to be here and appreciate the invitation. And I am Chris Jones. I work for a member of Congress whose name is Gus Bilirakas. He's from the state of Florida, representing the 12th Congressional District. I serve as his senior policy advisor, handling health issues and policies relating to healthcare specifically. So happy to be here and appreciate all that you're doing for the community.
Absolutely. So you can talk to us about this End Parkinson's Act then, right?
Yes. This is a bill. The full title would be the National Plan to End Parkinson's Act, but
Okay.
it is a bill that is authored by Congressman Bilirakas, my boss. So it's certainly a bill that I have worked on over the past year or so, with also a bipartisan partnership with our friend Congressman Paul Tonko from the state of New York as well. So those are the two leads in the House of Representatives, and then we have a Senate bill actually as well that is identical to the House bill.
So I've read a lot about this probably last year when it first came across my computer because Michael J. Fox Foundation was sharing the information, and you can reach out to your own government officials in your state. But can you tell us what are things that us with Parkinson's can be doing in the community?
Yeah. So the bill, just as a background here on the bill, what it would do is it would unite the federal government together in a project focused on curing Parkinson's. That's the ultimate goal, right? Is to get and to advance towards a cure. Obviously, we're not going to get there overnight.
That'd be something different.
But
Well, question though on that is it only just about doing things to find a cure, or is it going to also do things to help? I was just reading a statistic yesterday that half of Americans that have Parkinson's don't even have access to a neurologist, and only 10% of all PD patients actually see a movement disorder specialist. So there's that aspect of just getting the right diagnosis, getting to the right doctor. Is that part of this act as well, or is this specifically for clinical research for a cure?
it's a great question. It is actually both. It's all of the above. And so the project, we list out some of the activities of this project, and one, that is one of many is the research aspect, but there's also the plan has to have and look into aspects of prevention, look into ameliorating symptoms, ways to slow the progression, ways specifically to reduce the burden for caregivers and families as well, financially, encouraging the development of treatments and strategies to slow the course of the disease and improve the quality of life of patients. So definitely not the only a goal of this particular project, and a great point to bring up too is that and one of the points too, just because I know that this is a particular focus of your podcast, is to promote early diagnosis and coordination of care and treatments for individuals with Parkinson's and early onset Parkinson's.
So I'm not familiar with bills and things like that. I'm a marketer, so that's totally out of my wheelhouse. But do you guys put something like this together to get passed and then there's a plan that is drawn up, or is there already kind of a rough plan as to like how do you even implement something like this? Like you talked about prevention, slowing the progression, things like that. Are there already ways in which you know how that's going to happen, or is that what comes next if it's passed?
There are ways that we're talking with the agencies themselves to how this would best be implemented. So that's definitely a part of the process that we have legislatively. We have an idea of what we would like to see, which is laid out in this bill. But in order, for it to come to fruition, we do need to pass it. So that's our focus, is getting it enacted into law. So that way, this project and an advisory council that we set up is another thing in the bill. I can talk about that in a little bit. But actually gets up and running, right? And so, but there is a lot of behind the scenes work to work with the agencies involved. In this case, it's primarily HHS. They'll be kind of the umbrella agency, but we'll be bringing in all of these other agencies that may be doing and siloed off, doing their own thing. That's kind of the whole point of the bill, is that there's a lot of maybe some interest in the defense space, in the VA, for veterans, in Medicare, but also, maybe not in Medicare, and other agencies too. We want to bring everyone together and have them start talking to each other, because I don't think that they are right now.
No.
And I think that will really unlock a lot of keys, not only to research, but just like, well, how can we actually use that research and bring it to market?
Can I be part of that meeting?
Yeah. So where in the process?
There's actually a non-federal component of the advisory council. So that's a huge important part of the bill, is we actually have experts that we want to bring in who are patients themselves, patient advocates, family caregivers, healthcare providers. So like that's a really important piece, because then it's like, not only are the feds talking to each other, they're talking to those outside of the government, and we have this kind of a collaboration and public-private partnership that's really worked well in healthcare.
Well, I'm a patient, I'm a marketer, and I work for a pharmaceutical consulting company.
Qualified.
You qualify. You absolutely qualify.
What about where in the process is this bill now? Is it still in committee or?
It is still in committee, and it is the committee that my boss serves on. The Energy and Commerce Committee is referred. So it helps that a member is sponsoring the bill, gets more attention, and it has received some consideration thus far. So it is moving through the process. We have. It takes a while, but we typically start with a hearing, and we actually had a really wonderful hearing. Would encourage folks to look it up. Energy and Commerce hearing on Parkinson's bill. If you Google that, I'm sure it would probably come up.
What do you Google?
Energy and Commerce Committee hearing, and then Parkinson's. That should be enough.
Okay.
But if you Google the whole bill too, then that should trigger it. But there's a YouTube link, and we had an individual who's connected with the Michael J. Fox Foundation who has Parkinson's testify in support of the bill. And, it was just a really great moment to have his voice there and to talk about the importance of this. So that was step one. Step two is to move it through a committee markup, and we're hopeful that will happen soon. It went through a subcommittee markup, which is, you do health subcommittee and then full committee, and then it goes to the House floor, and then presumably we pass it out of the House and get it to the Senate.
So I'm impatient, and I like things done today, which we know the government doesn't.
Yep.
What type of timeline are you guys looking at?
Ideally, we would like to have this considered in the next markup, which would be, I believe, sometime in the fall. And so then presumably the House floor would be shortly after that. And our goal would be by the end of the year. That would be Now, realistically, I've been working for the congressman for almost 8 years. I know we don't move that quickly ever. So, but we have a 2-year window. Every Congress, if you don't get it done before the next election, then you actually have to reintroduce the bill again and go through the process again, which is frustrating. So it's good that it's moving now, and our goal is the end of this year, but we still have next year if not.
So is there anything that we can do as patients, as Parkinson's patients, or even citizens to help push this bill through?
Yeah, definitely. I think having the patient perspective and talking about the importance of this issue with your member of Congress, or having patients reach out to their own member of Congress would be great. Because the more voices that we have up here that are aware of the bill, we have I think we're at 4,000 or 5,000 bills that have been introduced so far this year. It's a lot of stuff happening. And so, not everyone's even aware of it. And so not only to be aware of it, but to consider co-sponsoring the bill, which would be formally, issuing their stance of support. And we have actually 100, we just crossed 100 members of Congress who are co-sponsors. So
cool.
We're building a lot of momentum here. In the House, this is obviously not a partisan issue, unlike many of the other things we do. Unfortunately, this hopefully will fly through.
Good. Maybe we should, Steve. Side note: maybe we should do a video mailer and start sending it to the Ohio State members and maybe other states too.
Yeah.
Do a little message because I would love to see something like this push through.
Yeah, we would love all of the Ohio delegation on board.
Yeah. Hear that, Ohio? I sent an email. I sent 2 last year, and I got the typical generic response. So, but I'll try again. We'll try again.
Now you know what it's called, so now you can actually reference it.
I know.
So my boss will always say, try to ask specifically for a meeting with the member. I might get in trouble by saying this because, but you should be able to meet with your member of Congress, and then you can just have a conversation with him or her about the bill, and just say, hey, I'd love for you to support it.
We can come on the podcast.
Asking for that meeting face to face, or by Zoom, but just I think sometimes we'll kind of get out of the generic response.
I was going to say it's a good call to action.
A separate bucket.
Yeah. Nice. Well, Chris, I don't want to cut you short, but we actually have your colleague on next. So we're going to follow up with him, and he works with you, and he has Parkinson's. Is that correct?
That's right. That's
okay.
Right. Yeah, and so my boss, this has been really personal for me. He actually lost his brother earlier this year to Parkinson's complications. And so this has been a personal issue for him. So he jumped at the chance to hire someone with early onset while he's looking for, I think, his next opportunity. But we're happy to host him. He's offered really some great perspective. So I'm glad you're going to be able to talk to him too.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, if you ever need any other perspective, we're happy to share.
We know a few people.
Great.
Yeah, we know a few people along with ourselves. But okay, well, Chris, I'd love to stay in touch, see how this is going, see what we can do. And that advisory council, I'll send you an email.
Yeah. I'll keep you on the list.
All right. Well, in our last 30 seconds, I will leave you with this. If you learned anything from this episode, is to look up the National Plan to End Parkinson's. It's a bill that's currently being viewed around. I'm not really sure how to say that, but it's
considered.
It's being considered. Thank you. And you can work with your own state government officials to see if it's something that they would be a part of as well. So the more people behind this, the better chances that we can get something like this passed to find a cure for Parkinson's, but also to help people have a better quality of life today. So with that, we will see you all next time. Thanks so much for joining.